The bracket is live and the stage is set for playoff volleyball in the state of Arizona. And the number 2 seed Mountain View Toros are the gym leaders tonight as they play host to the number 15 Corona del Sol Aztecs. Greetings and welcome, everyone. I am Zach Warhack, flying solo with you on the broadcast tonight as player introductions get set and underway. And the Mountain View Toros are a scary club. 30-7-1 on the season. A perfect 10-0 in region play in that 6 East FA Valley Conference. On the flip side, led by Chris Aviles, the Corona del Sol Aztecs, 18-16-2, ranked number 23rd in the state of Arizona, but 15th in this playoff bracket, despite a 1-5 region record in the 6A Central. And being introduced now, well, one of those big lefty hitters, Keone Garrido, an opposite side hitter for Corona del Sol. This now the third meeting between these teams on the season, yet to be decided. Mountain View in a tournament win the first battle 2-1, and recently, back on April 23rd, a 3-0 victory. 25-21, Corona del Sol kept it close in the first, and then it was smooth sailing for Mountain View. 25-14, 25-13 to end things off as a senior, Levi Myers, gets introduced to the squad tonight. 163 kills on the season. Let's break down some players to watch out for in this match. Freshman Paxton Boynton for Mountain View, 9th in the state of Arizona in digs, a dangerous libero. On the flip side, you also have to watch out for the sophomore Anthony Ortizo, a couple of youthful players at that libero spot. They'll be looked on to dig and dig and dig tonight. I think the most impressive thing about this Mountain View roster is at the top, where a lot of people think it all comes down to offense and the kills that you produce in a match. And you would imagine a team ranked number 2 in this bracket would have a heavy hitter doing it all, close to 500 kills on the season. It's so spread out, this offensive attack for Mountain View. You look at Maddox Williams, Max Ashby, Steven Jacobson, everybody gets it done left, right, and center for this squad of Mountain View. And as for Corona del Sol, it's kind of the same story, a youthful squad, no one specifically standing out, but that one senior, the lefty Keone Garrido, captain of this squad, definitely needs to be defended, hitting 163, 190 in region play. As both these teams set up and get ready to battle, they have that opening serve jitter going on, but it'll leave very quickly, I would imagine. Playoffs always bring a little bit more attention. We get a backflip out of the huddle from Max Ashby for Mountain View, and you have the spear for the Corona del Sol Aztecs to get things started. Both teams fired up, ready to rock and roll. I am as well. We welcome you all into the broadcast on Bamboo Sports. A clean slate for everyone. Opening set, 0-0, knotted up for the time being. It'll be interesting to see how Corona del Sol attacks, this being the third meeting between these two teams, as we mentioned in the open. Mountain View, white tops, blue bottoms. Corona del Sol all blacked out with that orange print on the uniforms. We appreciate you all for tuning in. One of the most exciting times of the year in the state of Arizona. Both teams get the initial formation set up. In the front court, back court, everything in between, our liberos get ready to check into the game as we see Ortizo step in for Nick Hauer, that middle blocker and opposite side hitter, the senior. Cray Owens has the ball in his hands to start things off as he sets up and he's ready to serve. 12 aces on the season for the senior setter of Corona del Sol, and we are underway. Just a float to begin things. Set up nicely, a ball up the middle and blocked up front. That's the kind of energy you need to bring into the gym if you're Corona del Sol to get it started. A big block by Garrido, and that's the first point of the match to Corona del Sol. Another float attacking Myers, back-to-back, C-set, and that one drops down, an opening kill and an answer for Maddox Williams of Corona del Sol. As Mountain View get the point, a side out, and they'll take over at the service line. Boynton surveys the court and see where he wants to go with it. Lefty lets it go slow. Set goes up the middle, and that one finds the line. It's an answer for Hayden Stafford. The middle blocker finds a kill, and a good response, back-to-back side outs for each team, and a 2-1 lead for Corona del Sol early on in this first set. It was the best set that they played against Mountain View in the previous match. They kept it within 4. Tough set, goes all the way over, just a tip over the top, no quick move in the face, but kept alive. And a great play by Boynton, and it's a free ball up top, hammered down. And the response is here, and the crowd gets going for Mountain View. Just one of those dangerous situations when you're a libero or on the defensive side, when you see a free ball just float over the top of the net, you never know how it's going to come back down. Big jump serve, nice top spin by Maddox, over for another free ball, and back-to-back kills for Ty Denham. A big game of momentum and a nice run. Back-to-back points for Mountain View. They're now on top 3-2 in this opening set on Bamboo Sports. Heavy serve from Williams, handled well all the way across, and answered by the dig of Boynton for a second. But it ends up going out of bounds, and it's a big swing from the sophomore outside hitter, Stanley Pang. Playoffs just mean more, and Corona del Sol have brought the energy tonight. Ortizo sets up with the serve. Pretty steady there, tight to the net, and just touched down quickly by Keone Garrido. So a block and a kill on the stat sheet for Garrido in this opening set. Responsible of 2 of the 4 Corona del Sol points. That one into the top of the net, and it's a service error from Anthony Ortizo. Always helpful when you get a side out from an unforced error. And that's how Mountain View respond. Austin back for the serve. Nice, finds the line. It's an ace in your face for Josiah Austin, his 21st of the season. Just like that, the lead back to the home squad. Pinpoint accuracy, a combination of that with some pace. That ball was floating. Ortizo elected to handle it. From the backcourt, Garrido lets it go up. C-set up top, hammered down but met at the net. We finally have a rally. Push at the top, a nice little joust. Good communication from Mountain View. Back-to-back jousts, and now it feels like the momentum of this point hangs in the balance, and it's the defense of the front court from Pang to get it done for Corona del Sol. Check that. Point goes over, and the kill for Mountain View. So it trickles down the net side into the court of Corona del Sol, and a 2-point swing. Swing outside, you're never gonna stop it. Max Ashby puts it down. Myers getting involved in the attack as well as Ashby. And form beginning to be met for Mountain View. C set to the lefty on the opposite side, met well defensively by Williams. An opening in the defense, and Ashby able to find it for back-to-back kills on the stat sheet. Mountain View begin to run away with it, up by 4. Off the tape and over, met by Ortizo, up the pipe, and hammered down. A quick 1 ball to Hauer, and he's able to get the side out for Corona del Sol. The captain sets up the serve, and it's answered well by Austin. Pushed all the way over, and that's in. Big kill from Levi Myers. So Mountain View give it up, get it right back, as these two teams have been answering each other early on. A bit of a stretch run. Mountain View had a lead as high as 4 points. And now back deep on the service line is Caleb Booth. Number 3 in 6A in blocks. He'll see if he can do damage from the line. Deep set, doesn't find the line, just a little bit too far. Good set from Crate Owens, allowed Garrido to have some time, survey the backcourt and get up for it, but an unforced error. Off the tape, rolls over. Owens, the wherewithal to get it over, and that one never makes it to the Mountain View side. Ortizo had the quick reaction after the response from Crate Owens, and a timeout taken by Corona del Sol, down 11-5. It's been a big attack of the usual suspects for Mountain View. A few stretch points for the junior Max Ashby to be able to get it done, but the scoring got started from Ty Denham. 8 kills in the first meeting between these two teams, already 2 in the opening set tonight. Mountain View's really just won the battle of unforced errors. There's been one on the serve and one on the previous swinging error of Keone Garrido to set it up outside. And I think that's what makes this Mountain View squad so good. Obviously, we know Perry, a storied program in the state of Arizona, #1 seed in this tournament. But what those top teams kind of have in common is they play a brand of volleyball where they force their opponent to make the mistakes. Unforced errors in swinging, on the service, it's something that Mountain View have been able to capitalize on. And when they get found in that rally, well, you better believe they're going to answer with a point. Booth, back to serve, awaits the clearance from our officials. And we're set to go. A rowdy crowd. Booth finds his zen, takes a deep breath, lets it fly. Up the middle, it's going to be a free ball over to Mountain View and an opportunity to set up the attack. Outside, swing up the middle, blocked at the net. Not the prettiest of kills, but effective for Levi Myers. Mountain View maintains serve. Ortizo has to handle a bullet. Nice job by Owens to track it down, but a big dig from Austin. Set all the way across court. Free ball. Corona del Sol. One ball up the middle, and a big kill from Howard. He's been efficient in the offense for Corona del Sol. Ever so important to have a solid middle blocker. And it's funny the way that this Corona del Sol offense operates, and it's effective when you get a left-handed hitter. Be able to put up those C-sets on the opposite side for Garrido. He's been strong there. Tip off the top of the block, goes off of the hand of Owens, and another kill as Mountain View continue to roll. Once they give it up, they get it right back, side out. Ashby awaits the roll of the ball, and he sets up, ready to serve. 39 aces on the season. That one afloat, handled, back to that middle blocking position, and a good enough swing from Howard to cause a challenge on the other side in the backcourt of Mountain View. Kill number 117 on the season for Howard. He looks over to see where the coaching staff wants it placed. Goes down the line. It's responded to well. Push all the way to the outside. Call from our officials. A touch on the net from Maddox Williams, and the point goes to Corona del Sol. Howard maintains the service line. He went down line the previous time. We'll see where he looks this time. Out towards the middle. Low set, C-set, cross court, gets a touch off the block, and another kill for Levi Myers. That's 4 straight for Corona del Sol, taking it off of the swing of Myers. A very effective first set for the side of Mountain View. And a prominent hitter, he heads to the bench. Substitution now, Ben Nelson, the sophomore, takes the service line. Good action on that, gonna be a tough setup. Backcourt swing. Corona del Sol answer the ball back over the net. Outside, dug back-to-back times by Boynton. Tip over, finds the gap. What a heady play by Ty Denham. Sometimes precision beats power. Good vision from the senior to find the opening. Pang gets it up, Crate Owens, and a layout dig by Boynton. He gets back in the action. That's 3 digs in the past 2 possessions. What a swing by the lefty. Williams puts the kill down, and that play all starts with the defense of Paxton Boynton, keeping it alive, laying out, making a highlight reel play. Owens pushes it outside, blocked up front, kept alive. Garrido sets it up into the backcourt of Mountain View. We got action. Both teams playing good defense. Pang tries to find the line on the opposite side, can't do so, sails it out of bounds. Tight to the net, hammered down, and a good answer from Ty Denham. 4 kills now in this opening set for Denham. Just clears the tape on the serve. It's a nice look for Corona del Sol, but a free ball over to Mountain View. Right up the middle, quick 1 ball, and a new name on the stat sheet, Steven Jacobson, his first kill of the night. Such a versatile attack from Mountain View. They've pushed it outside, gone quick up the middle. C-sets have been in effect. They can go anywhere. C-set this time in response from Corona del Sol. Garrido has it go a little bit too far on him, and another error on a swing. A 20-8 lead now in the opening set for Mountain View, and this is the biggest lead that they've had in an opening set in the previous battles between them and Corona del Sol. New faces in familiar places for Corona del Sol. Jenkins as well as Sells check into the match. Sells sets quick up the middle, and it's a nice answer, getting a fresh crew out on the court. Hayden Stafford finds the kill, but what a beautiful set from Zarin Sells. Very important for Corona del Sol to maintain the service line here. Mountain View have been super efficient at finding the side outs quickly. Jenkins back to the service line as Mountain View set up the attack. Communication in the backcourt. Down the line, answered well, set up by Axby all the way across, and Williams with the finish. Ashby to Williams, a very familiar combination. By the end of this state championship run for Mountain View, Ashby will approaching 500 assists on the season. Boynton back to the service line. He's played great defense in this opening set. Nice topspin serve, back over the net. And it's just aggressive serving that's played true to the offense for Mountain View. It's a whole nother factor that they've been able to open up in this match. Caleb Booth able to just swing it down immediately after the service reception, just tracks back over the net. The Toros looking to make quick work of this opening set. They lead 22-9. Service air into the net. And a little bit of an answer as Corona del Sol have found double-digit points. Evan Cornish in the rotation. Gets the nod and floats this one short. Both teams trade service errors. And now Mountain View just 2 points away from closing the opening set. Big serve, top spin, handled well by Ortizo, but no one comes home. And now set point for Mountain View. An ace will be credited to Maddox Williams. Williams goes high after Ortizo again, tight to the net, a joust and kept alive momentarily by Corona del Sol. Pang puts it over. Boynton answers. Outside, swung on too hard. So Ashby couldn't finish the set, and it's going to have to be a pretty spectacular run for Corona del Sol to be able to tighten this opening set up. Ortizo back to the service line. Just got to be consistent and get it in play. C set across, blocked down but out of bounds. And it's an opening set victory for the Mountain View Toros. The final blow delivered by Ty Denham, a 25-11 lead in the opening set for Mountain View, and we step away on Bamboo Productions. A 25-11 opening set victory for the Mountain View Toros at home in this opening playoff match on Bamboo Sports. Welcome back into the broadcast, everyone. I'm Zach Warhack. Flying solo tonight. Efficient offense has been the name of this match so far. When Mountain View put points on the board, they do it in bunches, and their attack is plentiful. Led by 6 kills in the opening set from Levi Myers, not too far behind Ty Denham with 5, and Max Ashby with 2. But great defense really stood out from the freshman libero Paxton Boynton, and he'll head back to the service line as the second set is ready to commence. The lefty puts a nice serve up into the open. Owens handles it, and a block up front. Net front presence by Caleb Booth as well as Maddox Williams to combine for the block. When it comes down in their side, the officiating crew says, so the kill and the point goes to Corona del Sol, and Cornish with the kill. Confusion setting things up between Mountain View, and that's kind of the start you're looking for and hoping for if you're Corona del Sol, getting those unforced errors. Boynton and Ashby just both went for it. Miscommunication, a double touch, and couldn't get it back over the net after that. Owens floats it, handled nicely. A free ball look for Corona del Sol, but it's into the net on the swing, and 3 straight to begin this second set for Corona del Sol. 2 errors from Mountain View in the backcourt. Owens off the tape and over. Boynton handles it. Ashby pushes it. Denham finishes. Good composure, patience from Mountain View to settle down after giving up 3 straight and get their first of set number 2. Williams, jump serve, top spin, almost impossible to handle. What a stab from Davis to get it back over. Off the net, tape, rolls it over. Ashby finishes the point. Such an aggressive serve from Williams. Top spin, jump serve, and it's back over to the Mountain View side. Free ball, quick 1 ball up the middle, hammered down by Caleb Booth. You've seen all sorts of action from these Mountain View setters tonight. Quick 1 ball, C-sets, pushes outside from the back court to the front court. They have been all over the place. Owens dives, gets it for a second. It was touched by Cornish, so there was never a chance of that one getting back into the side of Mountain View. So dangerous when Maddox Williams is at the line. They don't always result in aces, but it puts pressure on the offense. And the announcer jinx comes into fruition. Service error, side out. Three of the 4 points for Corona del Sol have come from errors, whether it be off the service or a swing. Float serve lands shy, and Cornish gives it right back to Mountain View for a side out. Austin with a good swing on the serve. Ortizo handles it. C-set all the way back across, and that one sails. Cameron Davis just got a little bit underneath it. Really nice job receiving the serve that time from Corona del Sol. They've struggled against Maddox Williams. A little bit better against Austin. This time close to the net, jousted. Tough to get enough power on that to go straight back over, but now Mountain View attack. Pushed all the way outside. Myers kept alive by Ortizo and stabbed back over. 1 ball, and it's been so effective, hasn't it? Caleb Booth with his bread and butter up the middle. What a fun night for the junior. Typically, he's so effective on the defensive side of things, putting together 80 blocks on the season, but he's been happy in the kill department tonight. Service error and a side out. So now 4 of the 5 points that Corona del Sol have gotten have come from an error. The opening point was the only one that hasn't. It was a kill that's credited to Evan Cornish. Good reception, C-set, hammered down. The height and the bounce from Max Ashby elevates, puts it down as number 8 finds the 8th point of set number 2 for Mountain View. Always smiles for Caleb Booth, and now he's ready to set up a serve. High reception from the backcourt, a nice swing down the pipe. That one sails out. Cornish attacking well in the second set. Really nice job from Cray Owens to be able to work around and track down the reception. Put a good set up the middle. Davis gets it tight to the net, and Mountain View able to win the battle in the joust. Levi Myers just presses it over the net. It's really been such a talking point in these opening two sets that neither team have really truly been able to consistently set up the offense. Something where Corona del Sol has won a lot of the battles at the net with points like that Mountain View just got. Pang swings off the right, and he stalled Paxton Boynton. He was leaning right. The deflection forced it left, and a kill for Stanley Pang. A much better look for Corona del Sol in this second set, within two, and now number two at the service line. Pang, following the kill, gets a chance from the line. Ace for Stanley Pang, and that has the bench popping up. Do a little dance. Number 20 on the season for Stanley Pang. A kill and an ace for Pang on back-to-back points. Corona del Sol within one. Boynton sets it up, C-set, Myers off the block and down. Kill number two in this second set for Myers. Ty Denham back into the match as he sets up front with Jacobson, and Williams will be ready to track down anything and set this team up offensively. Nelson has a deflection. Owens with a lot of time to work up the middle. And that's the third time Boynton has caught one up high in the face and neck area. And it's oftentimes you'll get that kind of angle when the swing is coming out of the pipe, because there's a lot more room to work with. When that set is up high, you have the angle of attack going down low. Boynton set up in that athletic position, and it's just unfortunate that it finds him up high there. Pushed outside, off the block, and over. An extra touch from Cameron Davis pushes it out of bounds. 11-9, set number two. Mountain View took the opening set by a scoreline of 25-11. Boynton will get ready to go with the left. Long and good communication. The entire Corona del Sol team barking out right when it comes off of the hand of Boynton. A little too hot and a service error. Boynton handles it, quick C-set, lefty swing, and put down by Maddox Williams. Williams with the kill, goes right back to the service line. 2-point lead for Mountain View. Dangerous topspin, that's the best reception of the night for Corona del Sol, but the block up front meets it. Now we have a rally. C-set, swung on, handled up top by the block. Free ball over. Mountain View look for a response. Back-to-back C-sets. Pang puts it high up into the rafters. Ortizo gets it back over. Excitement at Mountain View. One ball, and it's out of bounds. Mountain View give up the point to Corona del Sol. Holy cow. That's the kind of point Corona del Sol need to gain momentum and stay alive in this match. They've already met the same point total that they arrived at in the opening set. Trouble on the service reception, free ball Corona del Sol. Owens up the middle, swung on into the back court, and now a little bit of life into this team. Tied up at 12, Cornish back to serve. In with an ace. Both Myers and Ashby let it go. And it's pinpoint accuracy. An ace number 21 for Cornish. First lead of the match for Corona del Sol. Williams, C-set, swung on and put down by Ty Denham. A good way to go out for Denham. He ties things back up, gets subbed out. Josiah Austin back to serve. Owens, back set up the middle, and he's called for a double touch. Just floated up there a little bit too long with it. It was really close to call. But all eyes on, 8 of them from the officiating crew. Ultimately decided up top. And it's a point off an error that goes to the side of Mountain View. Owens has to track back, C-set, blocked up front. A little bit of trouble for a second for Mountain View. They respond, Ortizo puts it over, but not enough. Too much power from Myers. There was momentum for Corona del Sol for some time, and now it's back into the court of Mountain View. Strong serve, just past the line. It was close, but ultimately ruled out, and a side out for Corona del Sol. 15-14, Ortizo back to serve. He's been active defensively, quite frankly, all season long. Number 6 in 6A in digs. A push all the way outside and handled by Myers. Set comes from Ortizo. Pang swings, blocked up front. Boynton sets it up. Outside again, Myers beats the block for another kill. Hauer and Davis were up top, but just not tight enough defensively. It squeaked right through. Booth with a good serve. Challenges Ortizo. Pang swings way wide, out of bounds. No touch on that. And the service line kept by Caleb Booth. 17-14 now for Mountain View. Tough reception, but done well by Ortizo. That one swatted down. Myers gets it back, and just a gap in the backcourt from Corona del Sol. No one tracking in the middle. And it's points like that that have been ever so important for this Mountain View squad. 18-14, a timeout. It'll take a minute for everyone to get through there and make some adjustments, and it's something Corona del Sol really want to talk over. An opportunity as the 15 seed to be able to put some pressure on in this opening match of the playoffs in the state of Arizona. But the team led by Kevin Powell on the other side for Mountain View have had every answer. A lot more back and forth in this second set as Corona del Sol, they got off to a hot start. As the opening 5 points, 4 of them came from errors, whether it be on the swing or the service. And then there was a lot of action in the attack from Evan Cornish. The sophomore really got active to create some momentum for this team, and he was the one who didn't like the play he made on the back line defensively on the previous point that warranted the timeout. Now he has his head up, got chatted by the coaches, and we're back and ready to go. 18-14, Mountain View on top. Set number 2, they lead 1-0. Ortizo handles it, might have been going out. Pang just rolls a shot over. Push set all the way outside, Myers off the block. Ortizo, C-set, Pang, free ball Mountain View. Out of the backcourt, set goes wide, swung on, blocked again. Good defense by Corona del Sol. Put over, touchdown, and no one there. Cornish got tied up, dove, didn't read it off the deflection. An efficient point for Mountain View, as sometimes those free balls that come over, you never know how to handle them or how quick the offensive attack will come. Mountain View have stayed patient, gotten it to their primary players, and they've been efficient. Booth serves it out of play, and a side out for Corona del Sol. 8 errors have gone towards the 15 points that Corona del Sol have scored in this second set. Tight to the net, free ball, Corona del Sol. Owens, quick, one ball handled by Boynton, poked back over and it dies down. Steven Jacobson, heads up play. Wow. It's some of these points where the opportunity has just been given to Corona del Sol. They haven't been able to capitalize. Ashby, line drive serve, Owens up the middle, swung on and off the block. C set, handled. Good block up front for Corona del Sol. Now they're on the attack. Owens back to the one ball. Finds a touch, no line. Off of Boynton and out of play. Corona del Sol have favored going up the pipe with their sets as Hauer has been really efficient in the first set with that swing. C set, Williams gets it off the tape and over. Ashby to Williams, substitutions now. Ty Denham back onto the floor as he checks out Josiah Austin, and Levi Myers leaves the match as well as Ben Nelson takes the service line. 21-16, Mountain View have the serve and the lead. Off the tape, Ortizo handles. Up the middle, they've gone to Hauer, stuffed by Denham. A little bit of a hold for a second by Williams. Roll shot over, finds the gap. Cornish was happy for a second, but then a whistle and the point. And now back to the service line, it's Hauer. Really effective set for Evan Cornish. Hauer. Outside, pushed, handled. An answer from Corona del Sol. Open look for the attack of Mountain View. C set off the block from Williams. Pushed outside, heavy hit, but too strong. Josiah Austin, a little bit too much power. That ends up going deep. A 3-point deficit now for Corona del Sol with the serve. Hauer sails it, gives it right back on the service air. And it's just so challenging to be able to decide when you want to be aggressive with the positioning of the serve or just rely on your defense. Tight set, end of the set, service air from Hauer. Boynton gives it to Ortizo. Set pushed all the way across, just a touch over. Outside, Williams with the joust at the net front, put over. Boynton up front, a whistle comes before anything can transpire. And the point goes to Corona del Sol. So an infraction in the front court of Mountain View. They have who they want on the floor. Williams, Ashby, Denham, all out there. Owens serves it down the line. It's an ace for Corona del Sol. Big for the momentum. That's even bigger for Corona del Sol as they get tighter into this match. Cut the lead to 2, a timeout taken by Mountain View. This is what we sort of anticipated when we were getting into this setup between these two teams. Pretty much a 500 record on the season for Corona del Sol, 18-16. A lot of youth on this team, and the seniors really trying to bring the leadership factor, but a lot of these sophomores get playing time. Anthony Ortizo as the libero, kind of the biggest name there, but Cray Owens, one of the captains of this squad, always on the floor as this senior setter for Corona del Sol. On the flip side, it's just how composed you can stay if you're Mountain View. You've been in this position plenty of times, been able to answer and respond as they look to do the same coming out of the timeout. Cray Owens be back to serve. Keone Garrido back on the floor for Corona del Sol. Dangerous lefty. Owens goes back down line. Ashby, C set, Williams hammered down. Huge answer off the swing from Maddox Williams. He had 9 kills in the last meeting between these two squads. Has been equally efficient tonight. Jump serve from Williams, handled nicely by Ortizo. C set, handled well in the backcourt. Push outside, Denham soft touch over. Owens up the middle, Pang couldn't do anything out of the pipe with it. And now it's set point for Mountain View and a timeout taken by Corona del Sol and head coach Chris Avilas. So these two teams trade timeouts, and it was a big opportunity for Corona del Sol. Their defense played nicely. They handled the service. That's been a big spot on the attack from Maddox Williams. One of the most dangerous serves throughout the state of Arizona. Through this match, he's now at 30 aces on the season. And it's a high jump serve with topspin. You don't see a lot of players confident enough to attack that way. He's one of the few. Also swings very nicely from the opposite side. And that's something you see frequently. If you're a new volleyball fan tuning in here on Bamboo Sports, anytime you have a lefty, their favorable side is what we call the opposite side, where a C set or a back set comes in from the setter. It's on the strong point of that left-handed attacker to be able to swing through. And we have 2 great ones to watch tonight in Maddox Williams and Keone Garrido. Williams out of the timeout. Good topspin serve. Owens tracks it down. Garrido swatted down by the block up front. Pang just pushes it over. It's free up the middle. Blocked. Mountain View get it back over. Garrido handles it. And just back over the net. And enough precision for Evan Cornish to find a kill. 24-21 now as the excitement raises. This is the highest total Corona del Sol have met on the season in their meetings against Mountain View. C set. Denham puts it down off of Ortizo. That's set number 2 as Ty Denham blasting off again. A 2-0 lead for Mountain View. 25-21, they take the second after a 25-11 lead in the first. And now just 1 set away from moving on to round 2. We'll step away for the break on Bamboo Sports. A 2-0 lead for Mountain View as we welcome you back into the opening round playoff match between the Mountain View Toros and Corona del Sol Aztecs. We got started with a 25-11 set one victory for Mountain View. Corona del Sol fought back in set number 2, 25-21, the final there. But comfort at home for Mountain View. And it's been a big response from their front court to any defense that Corona del Sol have thrown out up front. 8 kills on the match for Ty Denham, Maddox Williams with 9, and 9 on the other side for Levi Myers as well. And we get ready to set up set number 3. Zach Warhack with you on the broadcast. We appreciate you all tuning in. The winner of this match will go on to play the winner of Higley versus Williamsfield, and we'll have that call as well. So stay with us on this side of the bracket with Bamboo Sports. Cray Owens has it in his hands right now as we set up and get ready for set number 3. The Mountain View Toros, ranked number 2 in the state of Arizona, haven't won a state championship since 2011, where they beat Sal Point 3-0. Back in 2019, they were the runner-up against Chandler. That went 5 sets, but this year, they want to be the very best. Cray Owens ready to set us up for what could be the final set if Corona del Sol don't find an answer for this high-octane Mountain View team. Tight to the net. Ashby quick up the pipe, handled well by Ortizo. We are off and running. Free ball, Mountain View. Ashby, C-set, tight to the net. Stuffed up front in a joust, but the last touch off of Corona del Sol, and the point to Mountain View. A quick substitution. Josiah Austin off of the floor. Paxton Boynton back to serve. Lefty sends it deep, handled toughly. Pang and Ortizo both back for it. And, well, what a shame. The basketball hoop gets in the way all the way up in the rafters. And I guess you could call it the 7th man on the floor for Mountain View. Home court advantage? Maybe. Who knows? Someone get out a tape measure. We got to see how tall those ceilings are. Owens with the one-handed set. Free ball for Mountain View. Up the middle. Handled off of the net from Ortizo. Free ball for Mountain View. Pushed all the way outside. Denham swings. The block isn't enough as it goes right through Zane Rice. Three unanswered to start this third set for Mountain View. Owens, C-set, push nicely out of the backcourt, but prepare for trouble and make it double. Setting up the block, Ty Denham, Caleb Booth, never gonna get through there. Owens pushes it all the way outside, off the block and down, and a nice response. First kill of the night for Nathaniel Jenkins. Cornish, he's like to go down line. He fancies it again. C-set, lefty, Maddox Williams. A recipe for success on the night as Mountain View take a 5-1 lead in set number 3. A little bit of air in the tires have been taken out from Corona del Sol. They put everything they had into that second set. Wasn't enough to answer, and now Mountain View are cruising along. Off the tape, out of bounds, no touch, and a 5-point lead early on for Mountain View. A good start to these state playoffs for Mountain View, as they're expected to handle a 15 seed like this, and they're doing so well, but this time Pang gets Corona del Sol back on the score sheet. Really nice kill from Stanley Pang. Ortizo has been all over the place tonight for Corona del Sol, finds himself located at the service line here. C-set, Denham swings but stuffed. Pang gets a hand on it. And now another block up front, this time from Jenkins. Stymied. As Corona del Sol responding, and they cut the lead in half. Full credit to Nathaniel Jenkins up front with the block. C-set, Denham. Ortizo got it back across the net, but not in court. Denham able to rise up so high. Just an efficient attacker. 3 true ones on the side of Mountain View. Owens up the middle, quick one ball, and a straight block back down by Caleb Booth up front, his second block of this third set. Well, Booth had it, Jenkins at the line though, so Corona del Sol win the point. My apologies. And back-to-back points as Myers goes too strong with it. (7-5) lead cut to 2 for Corona del Sol. Nathaniel Jenkins been a spark plug for this team in the third set. Very, very close on the back line there, but just out, and a side out for Mountain View. Boynton over to the bench, so the true libero not on the floor for Mountain View. Teams trade service errors, and just like that, Boynton pops back up, and he alleviates Caleb Booth. Pang sends it out to the middle. Ashby, that one floated up and suspended, and Jacobson got his paw on it, able to put it down to the side of Corona del Sol. Nice kill by Steven Jacobson, very versatile attacker. Back over the net off the service reception, eyes wide up the middle. Ortizo with a great response. Ashby looks over, and this one just floated back. Owens, quick ball, and that one swung on, and getting all of it is Nick Hauer. Holy smokes, what a swing from Hauer. I think it was called out initially, but the official got it right. Sometimes, trust me, when I've officiated, you're just kind of in your zone. You can have a brain fart, and you know that it's in, but you just put the flag in a different direction. I think that that's what happened there, because that swing clearly in from Hauer. C-set response, Levi Myers. Really fast-paced attack from Mountain View has been successful. No thinking, just going. Ty Denham back in, Myers over to the bench, and Ben Nelson also in. Pang sets up the offense for Corona del Sol and tries to be put over for a free one, but Zane Rice, not enough elevation on the tap. Nice serve, good action. Owens, C-set, backcourt swing. Williams has it dug up by Ortizo. Jenkins trades, gets it back over. Ashby, C-set, says, I choose you, Maddox Williams. What a kill from the lefty. Mountain View truly hitting their stride in this third set. They lead 12-7. Denham just with a stuff job up front. Substitution made now for Corona del Sol. Rice out, Stafford in. Nelson maintains the line. Owens quick up the middle, blocked, but onto their own side of the court. Denham got it, not tight enough to the net. And a side out, substitutions as well for Mountain View. Owens surveys the floor, goes through the routine, puts it into play. Ashby all the way over, stuffed at the net from the defense of Corona del Sol. Nathaniel Jenkins has been a breath of fresh air to this front court of Corona del Sol. A couple of blocks in this third set. Owens floats it, high reception. Ashby tracks it down. Williams cross court, dug up by Owens. Set from the libero, roll shot over and down the line. Boynton puts it up, just tipped over, but read nicely. We got action. Jenkins, does it get a touch? Corona del Sol calling for it. They say no touch, out of play. That was a fun point, to say the least. Really a chess match between the setters and liberos on that point, and now we have one of those liberos back to serve. Boynton sends it to his counterpart. Jenkins down line, but out. A 15-9 lead in set number 3 as Mountain View already have the match lead up 2-0 at home in the opening round of these Arizona State playoffs. Pang has trouble handling the serve, bailed out by Ortizo. Ashby puts it back up to Denham, shoves it through the block, well read. Substitution now, Potts, the sophomore, heads into the game and replaces Cornish. Good serve from Boynton, but handled even better. Solo block up front. C-set, Williams close to the antenna, blocked straight down. Excitement from Hayden Stafford. I would be too if I made a defensive play like that. Man, him and Nathaniel Jenkins get it done. Both front courts playing extremely well defensively in this third set. Potts off the bench and into the net from the service line. So it's a service error for point number 17. And now, well, to be honest, Maddox William could run this thing all the way to 25. Dangerous serve, jump serve, top spin, watch out. Owens, C-set, Jenkins cuts it front court. Williams puts it outside and Denham goes up with the left. Has enough space in between the block off of Jenkins and down. It warrants a timeout from Corona del Sol. An 8-point lead for Mountain View now in this third set as they're trying to go home quick. They say Friday night, 7 o'clock, the party's just getting started here at home. Really eventful match up to this point for Mountain View, as really all three phases of the game, they've been very effective. From the service line, defensively, and offensively on the attack. If they are going to want to make this actual run as this 2 seed and likely face Perry, pending any crazy upset in this bracket, it's going to have to come from plays all the way down the bench. They've had so many contributors tonight. You know you're going to see efficient play from Maddox Williams, Ty Denham, Levi Myers. Those are the guys that are always in it. But when the pressure comes on, it's the freshmen like Paxton Boynton who are going to have to come through clutch, and he's been doing so up to this point tonight. Williams out of the timeout, back to the line. Already found 1 point, looking to hold serve. Attacks Pang this time. That one rattles up into the rafters and down. Just too much pace off of the serve from Maddox Williams. Trendler up off the bench for a moment. Looked like he was trying to check into the game, but then sat back down. Pang, much better reception this time around. Good dig by Boynton. Tight to the net. Able to be put over. Pang puts it down, but Williams picks it up. Denham, a shove, and that's going to be a carry. He palmed it, couldn't get away with it, and a side out for Corona del Sol. Ortizo wants to go on a run here for Corona del Sol. Pushed outside and stuffed at the net, back into the court of Mountain View. A second chance from Ashby, and that one swung on and put down. My goodness. You've seen it from Hauer a few times. Finds the opening and gets it through. Hauer on his senior campaign. He's playing really nice. It's been a great game for him tonight. Hauer's been hitting .380 on the season. Up for defense this time. Craig Owens had a chance at it, couldn't get enough. Touch out of play, and that's a big time swing up the middle from Mountain View. Denham now out, DK in. Josiah Austin in to serve. 5 points away from advancing to round 2 for Mountain View, but not if Nick Hauer has anything to say about it. Back-to-back kills on the Corona del Sol points for Hauer. Jenkins has been great in this third set for Corona del Sol. Sets up the jump serve into the net. It's a point where you gotta try to attack when you're trailing by 7, now 8, so late in this match. Trendler makes his way into the game. Pang handles the serve. Pang has the set to him, and that one just a bit long. Now Mountain View just 3 away from a clean sweep. Trendler, line drive. Owens has to chase it down, and that one into the stands. And it's the wife playing defense of the husband there. She checked up to get it. That one was sailing into the crowd. And she protected the hubby that time. Owens up the middle. Hauer has to reach back like 1-3 to get it. Jenkins with the speed, too strong up into the rafters. Set point, match point, sweep point. Upcoming for Mountain View. Trendler has a chance to come off of the bench and complete it. Good swing, has to be handled from Corona del Sol, just a push. You got an opportunity for a big play. DK, roll shot in, handled well by Corona del Sol. Hauer tries to put it down tight to the net. Corona del Sol stay alive. Pang back to the service line. The sophomore sets up, and now it's a point where you legitimately cannot be too aggressive as your Corona del Sol. Can't give it up with a service error. Pang with a beautiful one. To the outside, DK for his first kill of the match, and he ends it. A clean sweep, and Mountain View advanced to the second round. The dominating performance and everything you would expect from your number 2 seed. 25-11 in set 1, 25-21 in set 2, much tighter, and a 25-14 finish in set number 3. Superstars out in full display tonight for Mountain View. Double-digit kills from the senior Ty Denham. Maddox William getting involved in the junior. Max Ashby setting up some beautiful kills for this team to come up with. Well, it got started a lot in the opening set with Levi Myers. You really can't say enough about everybody on this team. Paxton Boynton digging everything up, playing nicely in the backcourt as the libero for this Mountain View squad, and the season comes to an end for Corona del Sol. And a beautiful one. They fought hard all the way to the end. Big performances out of them from Anthony Ortizo. Stanley Pang had a nice match, and Cray Owens was really all over the place. And I really, really, really liked the way that Nathaniel Jenkins played on the way out as a senior in the third set. Ultimately, Mountain View get it done, and they move on to the second round as they'll face the winner of Higley versus Williamsfield. A clean sweep for them, and the player of the match has to go to Ty Denham. He was efficient in the front court defensively. When he was swinging, he put it down, and smiles all the way through for this Mountain View squad. A big win as they close it out. Head coach Kevin Powell will get back to the drawing board. This team all smiles on a Friday night. They finish things off. They take down the net. We appreciate you all for tuning in to this Bamboo Sports production. I've been Zach Warhack. Everyone have a great weekend, and we will see you on the 12th. It happens to be my birthday. We'll catch you then.